You procrastinate not because you don't know what to do, but you just don't feel like doing it. You eat like shit and put off all-nighters, but it feels good in the moment because you don't care that it's bad for you. The trick is to master your own emotions, and it turns out it isn't as hard as you think. You can train your mind into doing things that are good for you. So I want you to clear all of the thoughts and get ready to watch this video, where I'm going to give you the complete roadmap to clear procrastination and take action today. Just remember this: procrastination is the biggest future killer. When it comes to changing your behavior, the single biggest factor isn't probably what you've heard before. It isn't willpower, it isn't discipline, it isn't self-esteem, it isn't just asking the universe to clean your room for you. The actual most important factor to changing your behavior is your environment. Now that sounds a bit disappointing if you ask me. You would think that if you could just create the right level of energy, focus, and discipline, that you could become the next David Goggins.
Get out of your head and stay hard.
But in reality, it's a lot simpler than that. You must force your environment to make you act, so that whatever you are putting off must happen now. You want to lose weight? Clear all the junk food out of your fridge and plan your meals out for the week. Want to wake up early? Set an alarm clock on the other side of the room. The point is, before you start attacking a goal, you want to take the time to prepare to make the journey the easiest journey possibly. The second most powerful tool we have is creating incentives for ourselves. This means setting up rewards and punishments for our actions. Let me give you a quick example. You say you are going to start something. This could be going to the gym. You have everything you need, but you put it off just because you don't have a plan or routine. The one thing you need is triggers that move you towards action. This trigger can be as simple as a certain time or an object that you see. So for the gym example, this could be something as simple as just seeing your gym clothes. Because if you don't have any triggers or habits in place, you just won't start. See, even if you're extremely smart, you might even find it the hardest to start an action. This is because smart people procrastinate more, because they're so smart that they can find twice as many bullshit reasons not to start. You have two options from here: settle for working yourself to exhaustion with work that doesn't even matter, or take action with harder tasks that will actually get you somewhere. You no longer have the luxury of overthinking, especially with the dream life you have in mind. Surely you want to live that dream life while you're young and healthy. That won't happen unless you stop thinking and start doing. That's why I've come up with one simple rule that you should aim to follow every single day of your life. The rule is that you should do 3 times as much as you learn. Say you learn a specific skill for 1 hour. You should be prepared to apply this knowledge for at least 3 hours. Most of you are young people who have a long life ahead of them. Picture this, and I want you to imagine this as clearly as possible. You have your dream house. It's massive. It has everything you've ever wanted in it. You have all the cars you want, and the most important part, your dream partner beside you. Now imagine all that being taken away from you, and it all being with the person who worked harder than you. Make this visual. I want you to feel the pain of inaction. You cannot sit there and expect everything to come to you. It will all go to the person who put in their all for years, because they truly deserve it. Ultimately, this is what procrastination does to you. So now you have that in your mind, hopefully you realize why action is so important. But now you're faced with the problem of where to start. Now you could go search for 1,000,001 things to do to get your life in order, but all I'm going to say to you is simply do something. Whether that be take a pen and paper and start making a plan, or even if your goal is to start going gym, sign up to a membership today. Act right now before you put it off for another week, month, or in most cases even years. It's also important to remember you do not need motivation. This might seem a bit backwards, but that's because you've been told that motivation is required for action. But in actual fact, action is the cause of motivation. When you want to start a specific action, you must always think to yourself, what are the smallest and simplest steps I can take to get me closer to this goal? Once you start even the smallest action, you will see momentum that will propel you towards your goals. This is something that I talked about in my last video, where I told you to leverage the private victories. If you can do the small things like do your bed in the morning or track your calories every day, after a certain time, you not only make it a habit, which makes it easier to do in the future, but you also gain momentum towards doing the harder tasks that actually matter. Think of it like a domino effect, where the dominoes just keep getting bigger. The more small dominoes you knock over, the closer you get to the larger dominoes, which are the harder tasks. The more small wins you get, the more energy you are generating to push forward with the harder tasks. That brings me on to my next point. When you start crushing your goals, it is important to start rewarding yourself. Now, as you can imagine, rewarding yourself tells your body that the action you are doing is good. But just please make sure you don't fuck this up. Don't let the fact that you made a few thousand off your new side hustle make you skip work for 3 more weeks. Make sure you use that momentum and keep building these private victories. Otherwise, you're simply just stopping yourself from getting future public victories as well. A good way to reward yourself is do something you really enjoy for a while, but as soon as it's over, get back to work and only celebrate when you completed your next goal. The next step to helping us act is leveraging social pressure. People always complain about others preventing them from doing something, but that is exactly why you will be successful, because you are going to use social pressure to help you get what you wish you could do. We are naturally social creatures. We look for the approval of others. We enjoy spending time with other human beings. So if you can use that energy to help you achieve your goals, it's like adding a rocket boost to your motivation. Once you implement these 3 steps, you'll be able to do what you couldn't do for 11 months in just 1 month. You just have to work. This is why step number 4 is important too. You have to recognize that failure moves us forward. It is easy to fail at something and then start hating yourself for it. But you should always get over that failure and learn from it before anything. Because the goal never makes you feel good. It is never the thing that you are chasing that makes you feel good. It is actually the process of chasing that makes it more rewarding. Failure is the most important part of the process. The only way to learn is through failure, through constantly reviewing your past mistakes. What went wrong? Why did that happen at that moment? Could I change something next time? You have to ask these questions time and time again. Don't let your failures determine you, because success only comes from learning from your fuck-ups in the past. Now I know how this will go. Most of you won't even be bothered to take any steps into consideration. And that's why, for those of you who do take this video seriously and actually start doing something, you will see a massive change, not just in your work ethic, but your whole life trajectory. This is because people are simply just too lazy. They always say they are going to do something, but when you check back on them, they're sitting there watching Netflix, giving you the perfect opportunity to get ahead. You have the easy advantage here, and you can live the life you've always dreamt of if you just put your head down now. At this point, I don't know what could be stopping you. Stop sitting there and doing nothing just because you have that one voice in your head telling you you're going to do it tomorrow. There are no excuses anymore. Just to make it stick in your head, I'm going to end off with a quote by Benjamin Franklin, which says, "I never knew a man who was good at making excuses who was good at anything else." So without wasting any more of your time, I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you in the next video.